question for you.
Yeah.
So what is your name?
Louis Thompson.
And where'd you grow up?
In Houston, Texas.
And where did you go to school?
Jack H. High School, Blacksea Elementary.
So what was it like? What was it like growing up in Houston?
It was in the ghetto. Enjoyed it. It was everyday thing. Ride your bikes, go to the park, shag golf balls, sell them back to the golfers as they come through out at Herman Park, and swim in the lake and come on home.
And what years was that? Would you say your youth was in?
That I did that? I was back in the 50s.
You drafted to Vietnam. Can you tell me about that?
My senior year in college.
Because you said you were drafted 3 times.
Well, I was drafted 4th time.
Oh, wow.
I finished school in January of '62. February the 14th, Valentine's Day of '66, that's 4 years after I graduated from high school. I was only a junior in college because I dropped out a year. Went to school, and when I finished high school in '62, dropped out the next year, and then I went back to college, so I was a junior in '66. So that's when the draft started. Draft don't know what you're doing. All they know, you need to come and serve after 4 years, because we had Vietnam going on then. And so it started on February the 14th, but I was in college, so I got it deferred. And I maintained the C average. That's the only way you get it deferred, because if you got on probation or something, they could draft you right out of college. So March came, I got another draft. I was still in college, so I got another deferred. Then June came, I was out of school, so I went down before the draft board and pleaded my case that I need another year to finish college and I'd be willing to come serve my country. So they gave me a 2-year extension. August came, I was working, I get a letter from the Pentagon. The first draft was from the state of Texas. The next letter came from the Pentagon, a questionnaire, questioned if I'm going back to college and, I need to fill out. Well, I threw that to the side, being arrogant. So when I go back to school in October, I had a draft waiting on me. That's how I got drafted. So I knew, even going to school in Mexico, out the country, they will still come get you from draft evasion. So I got on the plane after 3 days later and come back and come serve my country.
What was so when you were in America, before you go to Mexico, or maybe when you were in, what was the perception of Vietnam? Like what did you see on TV? What was the perception of the media at the time?
Well, the perception all was Vietnam. A lot of people paid attention because we really didn't want to be there. We started out as assisting them to try to keep communists out of South Vietnam because they wanted a democracy. But we didn't, in college students, we didn't pay it really no mind. We knew that you had to maintain your grades because it was at war with them, and it kept building. And so perception was nobody wanted to go.
CBS News Special Report. The program normally seen at this time will not be presented today.
Where is it?
We can't reach those big guns, and they just keep dropping in. There's nothing you can do. It's like being a big bullseye on top of a hill, and you're just sitting there waiting. You can't be safe. You can be lucky. That's it.
You can't be safe. You can be lucky.
That's it.
Never, ever be able to tell the story the way it really happened. These young kids who you just run up to them, and when we were all boxed in, they were all around, and they were all over our perimeter, and we're throwing grenades, and I got pretty close, and just run up to one of these kids and say, Marine, we're going to get out of here, aren't we? And the kid looked up to you and say, you're damn right we are, Skipper.
Those Marines are talking about a place named Con Tien, an obscure American outpost in Vietnam, as Tarawa, Iwo Jima, and Guadalcanal were once obscure.
Time that y'all were under threat, under attack
Yes.
at times. Can you take me back to one of those times?
The 6-8 tech, well, before then, we was there about a month. And the officer said, y'all build it. So many stay back today and build a tent. I'm sorry. build a stage. We're gonna have to bring y'all some entertainment in. Y'all need a little entertainment. You've been there about 2 months. And so they built a little stage and they flew in 11, where are they from? The Filipino entertainers, band. And they entertained us till about 10 o'clock at night. And we all got up and after that and went back to our barracks. We had little mill barracks because it was on the largest military installation in Vietnam, Long Binh Post. That's the #1 headquarters. And straight up 12 o'clock, they hit our ammo dump. They killed 22 of us that night because there were 22 guards down there on the ammo dump, the main ammo dump there. And that was the first, my experience of combat. I mean, it wasn't directly because it was like about 2 miles away. Just about a mile or 2 miles away from us at the ammo dump, but it blew me off my bunk. The second was a 68 Tech.
You were in Saigon at the time, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in Saigon. The 68 Tech was in Saigon. That was the biggest. When they hit Saigon, they hit Saigon real hard.
What happened? You said you were driving through the city at the time the night before.
Or the day before.
The day before.
Yeah, I went to the American Embassy.
So what were you saying the day before?
Everything was normal. The Marines out from the American Embassy, they playing the little grab hips with the ladies walking by, having a good time. And I went in there to find out where some supplies to go. I had, from off the docks down there and delivered that. And I come on back down the dock. Everything was normal. And you got to understand the tech in Vietnam, that's the first year, in all of China, Korea, Vietnam, Tokyo and all that, that's the beginning, that's their biggest celebration, is the beginning of the year. So there's a lot of fireworks, a lot of, then you want to say party, but celebrate like we do our 4th of July, basically. And straight up on a Monday, I forgot what day it was, but I know it was straight up 12 o'clock when they hit our...
At midnight?
No, daytime.
Oh, daytime.
We was about, I'd say, 100 yards from the mess hall when they hit the motor pool, which is right next to the mess hall on Highway 1 as the entrance to come into the dock on the Saigon River. One of our biggest depot of taking off equipment. And that's when they hit us. That was the first time, and we was trapped for 3 days with the Saigon River to our backs, and because we couldn't get out. And 1st Infantry and Armored Division come and surrounded that whole highway and kept them off of us.
Attacked just about every major city and town in South Vietnam. In one day, they increased the scope of the war dramatically. Howard Tuckner was there.
The war came to Saigon early in the morning of January 31st. The first target was the symbol of the American presence in Vietnam, the United States Embassy. About 20 Vietcong had invaded the embassy compound and were now battling American Marines and military police. The Vietcong had penetrated to the center of what was supposed to be the most secure city in Vietnam.
On the 5th day of the battle for Hue, the Marines moved out from the fortified Army compound that withstood the original attack and advanced into the empty, abandoned buildings of what was Hue University. Hue, the ancient imperial city. It is to Vietnamese what Old Boston is to Americans, where many of its country's leaders are born or educated, where many returned to celebrate Tet a week ago when the fighting began, where many remain hidden in the unknown interior of...
What's the hardest part of it? Not knowing where they are, that's the worst thing. Riding around and running the sewers and the gutters anywhere. Be anywhere. Just hope you can stay alive from day to day. Everybody just wants to go back home and go to school. That's about it. You lost any friends? Quite a few. We lost one the other day. The whole thing stinks, really.
Did you lose any friends during that battle?
Oh, in tech, no, not that, knowing. No, not any of the 4 of us together. No, we lost one of the four of us when we was on the DMZ, but he didn't even get killed on DM. He got killed going down to Dang re-upping because his girlfriend wrote him a Dear John letter. He wanted to re-up for 6 more months so he could go home and try to, straighten his relationship out because he only had 9 days ago. That was the worst thing that happened. I got the letter right now.